What's up? SoFlyP31 here. I know it's been a minute since I made a video. Y'all gotta forgive me. I've been real busy. The Lord's been dealing with me on a lot of things and a lot of aspects in my life, situations, and I just feel led to speak with you guys about giving and just share my little testimony about how God taught me to be a better steward of giving and things like that. So I just kind of want to start a little bit about myself. I go to Oral Roberts University. My name is Troylisha. Some people call me Troy. Follow me on Twitter, on Instagram at SoFlyP31. I like shoes like crazy, but I love God. Anyways, back to this testimony about giving, just to kind of help you guys out a little bit. I just want to be a little transparent today. I feel like the Holy Spirit has been leading me to talk about this for a long time, and I just hadn't had the time to do it, and now I do. So I'm working on this, and I'm going to get it out. So basically, giving is something that we're supposed to do out of our heart. We're supposed to give our first part of our seed, the first 10% of everything that you earn, of all of your earnings. You're supposed to give that unto the Lord. That's the definition of tithing. That's what a tithe is. And so a lot of times in life, we kind of get it mixed up. We want to know where the tide's going, where it's coming from, and this, and that. But God said, don't worry about that, because you know what? What God says is that you plant the seed and not add the increase. So as long as you plant your seed, your 10%, God will make an increase in your life, even in aspects and areas that you may not notice. Because a lot of times I would tithe and I'd be like, God, what's going on? I don't understand where this money is going to. Like, God, and I didn't realize that last year I had got a revelation from the Lord back in December of 2010, and God had challenged me. He said, this year I'm gonna challenge you not to give 10%, but I want you to give 30% of all your earnings every time in the year 2011. Mind you, this was last year, so he told me this in 2010. This is what he wanted me to do in 2011. So I said, God, I'll take you up on that offer. I was working at McDonald's, wasn't making a lot. Minimum wage checks was real weak, and I was complaining about my checks a lot of times, and didn't really realize that I should have been thankful for what I was getting. I didn't understand that, and so. But anyways, back to this. It was hard for me to give that 30%. I promise you, because my checks wasn't big at all. So when I gave my 30%, it was almost like, okay, now I don't have anything. But I had to understand and realize, like, this is what God has told me to do. Anytime God tells you to do something and it hurts you to do it, that's when you know, like, okay, it's God telling you to do it. Because it took so much out of me to give that 30%. It was times when I gave more than the 30%, though. If I felt led by the Spirit, sometimes I would give my whole check. And I didn't mind. Like, as long as, I was just like, okay, cool, whatever, God, I'll give it. I don't care. As long as I can be, right by you. I didn't understand where the money was going to. I didn't care. I didn't understand where the money was. I didn't understand where the increase was going to come. I didn't see it, and it wasn't until, like, I had continued to give, and things like that. And then, like, towards May of 2011, I kind of got tired of it. And I was like, God, okay, I've been giving you 30% of all my checks for this long, and I have not saw any increase. Like, God, what's up? And the Lord was just like, just be patient with me. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. So as long as you continue to remain consistent, I'm gonna show you what it is that I'm trying to do. And I said, okay, God, I trust you. And God was like, okay. And so what I did was, I continued to give my 30%. It got harder and harder. I'm not gonna lie. It got harder because my job started cutting my hours, and then so it got really hard. And then when July came around, I just got to the point where I was like, God, I don't know what you're trying to do, man, but you need to do something, because I have no idea what's going on right now. And I was like, Lord, nothing's working out in my life. I'm giving you my 30%, but I don't have any money. And God was like, just trust me on this. And he was like, but now I'm at this season. And I was like, God, I'm tired and I want to give up. I don't want to give you anything else. Like, that's just how I felt. And God was like, well, do you trust me? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, I trust you, Lord. That's what I said. And so the Lord told me, well, give me everything you have. All of the money that you saved up from this far, everything that you have, and I will bless you. He was like, I'm going to give you something. He was like, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to open up a window of heaven. I'm going to bless you with a blessing that you cannot have room enough to receive. And it was quoted in his scripture. So I read his word and I began to remind God of his word. He told me every morning, meet me. He told me, meet me at 5 a.m. every single morning and give me the first hour of your day. And so I said, okay, God, I trust you. I'll do that. It was hard. I can tell you it was hard. But because of where my heart was, because my heart was where God was, I had to do it. So I forced myself to give everything that I had. I gave everything. My account balance was at zero. I didn't tell my mom. So when she see this video, this is gonna be her first time knowing that I gave all of my money to God. Like, I promise you, I did. Gave everything I had. And I had never did anything like that before in my life. I was scared when I did it, but I trusted God. And so I began to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. I began to give him an hour of my day. And then when November hit, God said, we're about to hit a new season in your life. I need you to give me 2 hours of every morning. And I was like, okay, God. So I began to give him 2 hours of every morning and this and that. And things started to happen in my life. Things started to change. I began to be a light. I began to grow further in God. I began to gain more wisdom. People began to look up to me. I began to get awards, win things at my school. I began to be president, the president of different clubs and organizations. God blessed me with a ministry, and it was just it was amazing. I began to do so many different things. I was on the news. I was in the Tulsa World newspaper for doing so many things in the community and this and that. I began to get scholarships just out of nowhere. God just began to pour blessings over my life. And so in 2012, December of 2011, God told me it's time to turn it up just a little bit. He was like, I need 2 hours of every one of your days. I need 2 hours. And I said, okay, God, I can do that. So I started. He told me this in November of 2011. So I started in December. I said, okay, God, I got to start early. So I went ahead and I got it in. I did what I had to do. I began to give God 2 hours of every one of my days. And I was like, okay, God, 2011 comes around. I'm giving God 2 hours every single day. And I'm not giving him 30% anymore. I'm giving him 40. So I'm like, okay, God, 40% of every one of my checks. And then God told me to quit my job. March of 2012. I didn't understand why, but God told me to quit. He was like, your job is taking up too much of your time from me. And even though they had cut my hours and I wasn't working much, God was like, you got to quit your job. And I was like, okay, God. So I quit. I put in my 2 weeks notice and I was out of there. And so I began to pray and look for another job. And God didn't even tell me to do that. But I just felt like I needed some kind of income that was consistent. So I began to pray and fast and look for a different job and things like that. And nothing really worked out. Nothing worked out. I didn't find a job until July of 2012. And I want to tell you that at this job that I work at, I make more than I've ever made at any job in my life. I'm truly grateful for everything that God has given me. The job that I work at now allows me to pay my bills at school, everything, and I always have more than enough. God has truly blessed me. He's opening up doors for me to preach at different places. I've spoke at different youth conferences. I've preached at different churches, things like that. I've seen so many things in my life at this point, and I'm only 18 that I have I never even imagined. And God has been doing so many things in my life just for me being a steward of my giving. And so now that I'm at this great job that I've been working, I'm still giving my 40%. I'm still tithing my 40%. I cannot wait till 2013 to tithe 50%. I'm going up 10% every year. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I told God I want to get to the point to where you get 90% of all of my income and I just want 10 because I can live off of 10. I want to be at that position in my life where I can live off just 10%, where I make so much to where 10% I'm comfortable with it. Do you hear me? Y'all don't understand. Y'all got to be motivated. And that I just share that testimony with y'all just so that y'all can be motivated to give more to God. And don't be hesitant anytime he asks you to do something because you never know what it's going to come out to be. I'm at the school that God called me to be at, walking in his will, so I know I can't go wrong. Whatever it is that God tells me to do, I'm trying my best every day. I'm just walking this thing out just like the next person. I'm not perfect. I just do what I have to do just to try to survive in God's kingdom. But I just wanted to share that with y'all and just let y'all know how important it is to just give to the Lord. And that's pretty much all I have for tonight. For the day, period. So you guys, you just be blessed. And yeah, talk to you next time.